Hey, I'm Scott at ediblemusic.com. When you listen to a song, whatever the song, it will have a lot of compression on it, different kinds of compression even, that all combine together to form a key factor into why the song sounds the way that it does and why you like how it sounds. The compression makes things sound better. But why does compression make things sound better? I talk a lot here about the how of compression and making sure that it's set up properly in order to engage the sources that you're processing it with, and the what of compression concerning what it is actually doing to the sounds that you're working on. And I go into detail about how compression connects with the other steps in your mixing process in the 5-Day Foundation series, which you can get started on at ediblemusic.com/5days. But the thing about the why of compression is that it can actually help you to make your decisions clear when it comes to the what and the how. The first way, the most common way that compression tends to be used is to reduce the dynamic range, to pull down the loudest parts of a sound, to average them out a little bit more so that they're closer to the quieter parts of the sound. And because this use of compression averages out a signal, it tends to bring up the finer, quieter details of the performance and some of the brighter frequencies that might exist within the recording or the instrument. You can now hear things like a musician's fingers moving along the guitar neck or the changing qualities in a vocal performance. It can bring the vocal or the instrument to feel as though they're much closer to the listener. And so even though that's a technical way of understanding compression, it comes back to the ways that you might want to apply compression in a tasteful manner, such as smoothing out or warming up a sound or brightening a sound, making a sound more energetic or giving it some more jump. So there are technical aspects of compression that are really important, but greater in significance, I would argue, is the impact that they have on the feel of a song. That's where the why of compression comes in. And that's only when thinking about one compressor at a time. But when using multiple compressors set differently on different parts of the song, then the why of compression becomes that much greater because it starts to impact the entire image of the song that you're working on. Using compression differently, say to increase the distinction between the highest and lowest level parts of a sound, well, doing that can help to make your drums really pop out of the mix. Or if you have a faster attack, then you can set things like synthesizers or strings back in the mix. Compressing your vocals a lot can help to push them forward. If you want to have certain characteristics in your mix balance, then that why of compression can help to determine what and how you do with it. These are just a few ways to think about the why of compression, but more than just thinking about it in terms of setting it on an individual program element and whether it makes that program element sound better. You can now use this sense of why you would want to use compression on a particular element in order to position it in relation to the rest of the parts of the song. If you want these qualities in your mix, then the why of compression can actually help to determine for you the what and the how of your application of it. These are a few ways of applying compression by thinking about why it can be useful for your mix, much more than just thinking about setting it on an individual track. Once you have multiple compressors going on in your mix, then they all start to work together, and if they're working really well, then they have a really terrific impact on the feel and the sound and the tastefulness of your song. And that is why compression makes things sound better. Try it out.